Tonight, let's talk about the calm before the arcade storm. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Another episode of This Week, the show where we talk about what happened this week in home arcades, episode 145. I know it's been a minute. I know I've been a little bit off the radar, perhaps, but I am back and ready to talk about. So we're going to have like a catch-up episode. We're going to talk about some of the most current stuff going on, but we've got a couple things we want to cover, especially some of the stuff that happened in the past couple weeks. A lot of exciting things to talk about. Very excited to be back, guys, and happy Memorial Day weekend. So hopefully you're doing little to nothing, spending time with family, friends, shooting off fireworks, doing whatever you want to do. Of course, that's us in the U.S. Everybody else, I have no idea what you're doing. I have no idea what you're doing. I don't know what your current holiday situation is, but hopefully, if nothing else, you're enjoying your nice long weekend. So yeah, it's Memorial Day tomorrow here in the States, and usually the weekends are pretty laid back, pretty chill. This has been a hell of a weekend for me. So got back from Taiwan, and family came in, and we were able to go up, drive about 3 hours north, and see my nephew that I haven't seen in quite a while. Graduate high school. That was really cool. And my brother, my mom, my sister, they all came in from Iowa, from Texas, and we had a great time. This morning, woke up early, took them, my brother and my mom, to the airport. And then also my middle son took off to go to Norfolk, Virginia, and his duty station in the Navy. He finished up all the A school stuff. So that was this morning. So I've been up for a while. Excited to talk about this stuff. Excited to get some of that stuff done and out of the way. Glad everybody has made it home safe and sound. And going to hang out tonight and talk about some arcade stuff, because there's some stuff to talk about. I want to start off the show right off the bat. Before we get anywhere else, we got to talk about the latest and greatest, the just most shocking, surprising, and 100% verified news coming from Michael B, the Game Genie. Just a couple days ago, actually, I think it was Gotham City Arcade posted this and wanted some clarification. And Michael B delivered Frogger XL this September at Costco for $5.99. Outrun Deluxe is coming, guys, in October at Best Buy for $5.99. Tekken Deluxe finally will be available. It was going to be announced at EVO. It's going to be a very exciting time. And, of course, Defender Deluxe, October, Shop Hippo. We're all very excited for this. Now, some of you may be thinking, is this some sort of a joke? Is this not real? Well, to that I say, how dare you? How dare you? Michael B would never steer us wrong. This is exactly what's going to come out. It's going to happen. Take it to the bank. And if it for some reason any of these details are false, please see Michael B, the Game Genie. Maybe rub his lamp. I don't know. just gotta love it. It's ironclad. You can count on it. Take it to the bank. So that's exciting. That's exciting news. We all thought Arcade 1-Up was dead. No. They're going to come up with some stuff, I'm sure, that's real. Okay, let's talk about other stuff that's maybe a little more concrete, and that is what I'm drinking tonight. Yes, I'm back in the Basil Hayden. Got a little bit left in this bottle. There's another bottle upstairs. We're not going to get into the second bottle tonight because I'm going to have to wake up tomorrow at some point. So we're going to probably finish this off tonight. Basil Hayden Toast is the brand. If you can grab it for about $45, anything under $50, I would consider a deal. So cheers, everybody. Happy Memorial Day. Hits the spot as always. Okay, so let me know what you're drinking in the chat, in the comments section below. Hopefully, like I said, you got tomorrow off and you're drinking something, a little kick, a little flavor. Okay, let's talk about something else going on. Every week we have a poll question. So tonight we're just no different. We're going to have a poll question. And the poll question is simply this. Do you think we will see any new 3/4 scale home arcade products in 2024? Very specific. There's home arcade stuff coming out. But do you think we're going to see any 3/4 scale home arcade products? And I'm including Arcade 1-Up in this conversation. Do you think we're going to see anything anything in the 3/4 scale size. I mean, we're bumping up against June, so we're not quite halfway through the year. Are we done? Is there nothing else coming? I'm talking about the calm before the storm. What if there is no storm? What if this is just the calm and that's it? And it's nothing. It's more of that barren wasteland we talked about 2 weeks ago, the post-apocalyptic home arcade landscape. Or do we have some stuff that's actually knocking on the door of this home arcade community? Maybe going to spell gloom and doom for Arcade One. Give them some real competition, or at least give us something different to be excited about. That's what we're talking about tonight. But before we move into all that stuff, we got to say hi to the top 10 comments. The first 10 comments, as we do every single week, want to say hi to some of you. Can't say hi to everybody, but we got to keep rolling. We got to keep moving. Now let's go to start with the number one comment. Decadent Dave says, first, and that's all you need to say. That's all we need to hear. Let's go ahead and move this up real quick. Gonna move some stuff around just so I can stay on top of that. Move this around over here. There we go. All right. So number one, thank you so much, Decadent Dave, for always commenting, always being there. Really appreciate it. We just mentioned you, Gotham City Arcade. What is going on, buddy? Coming in the number 2 slot. What a battle! Welcome back. Any new news about John D's new company, Evo 2024 and Michael B. Leak Arcade? Well, I covered the Michael B. Arcade list. Is 100% true. It's listen. I would just, and my source for that is Michael B. Michael B. said it. Make it so. I think you should count on it. Take him at his word. Michael B. would never steer us wrong. How dare he? He is not about the sarcasm. No. I think he's being honest and truthful with us. And I'm, for one, just grateful that we're going to have something new coming out from Arcade One Up. I'm just kidding. We're going to talk about John D tonight. I got a little bit of new news about that. I think it's a little bit, just a tidbit, something to talk about, something to discuss. I can't share any more about Evo 2024 just yet. Can't really let you, can't really talk about that yet. But eventually, I think we're going to talk about it, right? Hopefully before it actually happens. JJ is coming in the number 3 spot. Thank you so much for being here, buddy. Always a pleasure. Happy race day, 19K Fox, Monaco, Indy, and Charlotte. Also, a big thank you to those who have made the ultimate sacrifice in defending our country. That's what Memorial Day is all about, remembering those that have died in service to this country. So it's not Veterans Day. It's Memorial Day. We take the time to remember those that, yes, pay the ultimate sacrifice, and didn't get to come home. So absolutely want to definitely, that's something you want to, if you're looking for some reason to raise your glass, take a second and have that be your reason for sure. So thank you so much for being here, man, and reminding us of what the holiday is really all about. Frank D is coming in the number 4 slot. What's going on, buddy? Always good to see you working some of that overtime today. There you go. Overtime. Are you going to parlay that into like holiday pay too? Damn, double stacking, maybe double time and a half. That would be awesome. Drinking more Busky tonight. Absolutely awesome. Coming in number 5 spot is Arcade Dave. Thank you so much for being here, buddy. Good evening, everyone. Good to see you back, Fox. Good to be back, buddy. It's really good to be back. Looking forward to all the topics tonight. But buy stuff has me intrigued. Yeah, they're a company that has put their money where their mouth is. It's not just hypothetical. So I'm interested to talk about that a little bit. And coming in the number 6 slot, we got the Corner K. Danny, how the hell are you, man? Good to see you. Let's go. Fox is back, baby. Absolutely, Fox is back. And, well, I'm back. 7th, happy Memorial Day. 7th indeed, coming in the number 7 spot. Always appreciated. Always glad that you're here, leaving those comments, also sprinkling some love with super chats. This one is $20. Thank you so much, Kevin, for your massive super chat, buddy. I really do appreciate it. We are on the eve of one of our great American holidays, and yet we are not here to talk about X-Men 97 for the full hour. I watch North Korean propaganda. It's a hobby of mine, and I can't tell the difference between that and this issue. My God, what an insult. But you did give me $20. And in kind, you know where you're going. To the pit.
Finish him. Melina wins. Flawless victory. Fatality.
Walk it off. I'm sure you'll be fine. That comment did hurt, but there is redemption here on the 19K Fox channel. And it comes in the form of a second follow-up super chat at $5. Thank you so much, Kevin, for issuing your super chat reply and apology. All is forgiven. Just saw your X-Men video. Well, not 1 hour of talk. We saw the American in you. Now that's solved. Let's honor our heroes every single day. Thank you so much, man. And for that, I shall give you a different super chat. One that will probably scar you for the rest of your life.
Nice.
Coming in the number 8 spot is Game Broker 84. Thank you so much for being here, buddy. Coming in number 8. And happy Friday, Fox. What do you think the Buy Stuff Arcade announcement will be? Possibly a shell that you make your own? Glad you are back this Sunday. Hope you are having a good Memorial Day weekend. Absolutely, buddy. Thank you so much for being here. We'll talk about it. You actually kind of, you probably, did you read my notes? Did you sneak in and read my notes again? We're going to talk about it though. I am excited because I think that they're a little bit different animal, right? Coming in the number 9 spot is Show Gecko. Glad you're back, brother. I'll be drinking my Miller Lite, of course, as always. Good man. And coming in the final number 10 spot is going to be Jason, the littlest of aliens. Happy Memorial Day. Glad to see you back home safely. Appreciate you. Looking forward to that Buy Stuff Arcades announcement. Absolutely, man. We got a lot of stuff to cover. Bob is also here. Buddy, good to see you. Hey, Dan Z, good to see you as well. Molar Medic. Yes, Guinness kind of night. Glad you made it back safe. Thank you so much. And look at these guys stopping by to say, hey, there's our logo on Fox. Yes, because I don't know if you're aware of this Buy Stuff Arcade, but you got us all excited. And it's definitely something we absolutely need in this home arcade space. We need a little bit of excitement. We need something to kind of get us jazzed up, right? And something besides the drink. So let's go ahead. Let's get into it. We said hi to everybody. We talked about the poll question. Make sure you jump in there and let me know. It's really just an optimistic sort of question. Are you optimistic or pessimistic? Are we going to get anything new 3/4 scale for the rest of the year? Or is all hope lost? So vote in the poll, grab a drink. Let's go ahead and slide into the first topic. Okay, so let's back up the track a little bit. Let's rewind the tape just a little bit. And I want to revisit the New Wave Toys announcement. I made a short video. I was over in Taiwan and I made a short video talking about this. Wanted to revisit it just a little bit and talk about it. Just in case, you've been living under a rock. I'm sure everybody's been talking about this, talked it to death, but I want to talk about it just a little bit more and provide a little bit more detail about what I'm kind of thinking about as far as this overall, there's been a lot of hot takes and I don't think my take was very hot. It was sort of a medium temperature take because that's just kind of the way I feel. Just to reiterate kind of what I said, I think this is a great company, both New Wave Toys and GRS. It kind of goes without saying. So I don't think that you're going to get something that isn't quality. I'm just questioning if this is exactly the right kind of product they should have done. Now, the combination of the two items is interesting to me because of the whole compromise thing. We talk about Arcade1Up and all these other companies and the compromise that these products really are. They're compromised machines. You're going to have to sacrifice something for something. It's 3/4 scale. You're not going to get the full size monitor. Some of the controls are, cheaper to keep the cost down. This seems to be a kind of bridge the gap product, like a combo, right? You don't have to get both pieces. You can get one piece. You can just get the Replicate and leave it at that. Or you can get Glenn's, deck that's going to go with it that is going to be of the highest quality. But is this the game to go with? And I think this is the biggest question that everybody's facing. Everybody is talking about this game in particular. The combination of products, I think that's not really the biggest problem. Is this what everybody was really wanting? And I think the majority of us probably didn't want Golden Tee. I think we wanted something different. There's been kind of some Golden Tee saturation of products out there. We've had, obviously, it was the first, but I think in my opinion, probably still the best XL that Arcade1Up ever did was Golden Tee, minus that screen. Obviously, that was a pain, but once you swap that out, you've got a really fun cabinet that, for the most part, at least for me anyway, besides that monitor, has held up pretty well. And I really enjoy it, and that cabinet gets a lot of play. Pac-Man XL is cool, but I think it still comes in second, if you have the Golden Tee XL. Definitely a great cabinet. I dig it. I enjoy it. But then they re-released the 3/4 scale version in a deluxe cabinet. This just recently happened. And once again, it was like, do we really need this? Is this something that everybody really wants? Don't really know. And then now we have a company, in my opinion, that has really made their money and made their mark in recreating some very niche titles, some very, very quirky, weird, deep cuts, in my opinion, of some arcade classics, really pouring their love and attention into that. making the most accurate 1/6 replica possible. And is Golden Tee the right fit for that? I personally don't think so. I don't think Golden Tee is really what everybody was been clamoring for, but I can't deny the fact that it's the 35th anniversary and there's probably some partnership and some, there's other reasons behind, pushing this out there. And I think the first thing is that you want to go with a safe title. If you're going to do something that is going to be bundled with a control deck from Glenn and commanding a pretty steep price tag. Let's talk about the price tag, because this is another thing that has really bothered some people. If you go in right now, I pulled this today. This coupon code is still live. The coupon code is Golden35. You go in and you pick, let's say you just want the Replicade. You're going to get that at a discount of $200 to ship to my part of the country. It's in the Cincinnati area. I'm looking at $23. So, I still, the regular price tag is $250. You take $50 off, and then $23, $24 comes right back. So you're still safe. You're still under that original price tag with the savings. So you save some money there. Too bad the shipping couldn't be free, but it is what it is. $23 is kind of high. But when you talk about the combo platter, right? The bundle, you're talking about the Replicade and then Glenn's control panel. This is where this gets pricey. So let's go ahead and use that same coupon code. Drops you down to $320 because that sticker price of $399 is pretty high. But this will knock it down. This will take $70 or $80 off. Looks great. But then when you go to check out, you can see the shipping is almost the entire discount itself. So it brings you almost right back where you started. So you're going to pay $400 for this thing. Now, once again, this is shipping to my area. It's in the Cincinnati area. Maybe it's a little cheaper where you live. Maybe it's a little more expensive where you live. I'm not exactly sure. But the $78 is what I've seen from other people posting this on Facebook and some of the groups and all that. So that may just be the flat rate for everybody. And so you're looking at a $400 price tag for this combo. And when you're talking about $400, I know that's a steep hill for them to climb, and so they wanted to go with a safe title. And tying this into the 35th anniversary kind of makes some sense. I was more excited about the possibilities of different titles. In my video, I was talking about Tron as an example. Now, I know Tron will be a difficult license to get. You got Disney, you're going to have to worry about that, and that's going to be tough, which, kind of makes me sad, because if Disney is still that problem, I think that they're probably struggling financially. In perspective, keep that all in perspective. They're still Disney. They're still making a ton of money, but they're not making as much money as they used to. So maybe they're in a position to try to, cut some deals and, maybe be a little nicer on some of their percentages, but I seriously doubt that. So when you're thinking about stuff like Star Wars, that may be tough for them to get. I was really kind of hoping that, we'll talk about that part in just one second, but I was really hoping to see more big name titles, more classics. So Tron would be an absolute arcade classic. And wouldn't it be great to have a perfect 1/6 scale recreation? So, the joystick is 1/6 scale. You're not trying to make that playable. And if you want to make it playable, unfortunately, you would have to buy this control deck. But to me, it would be the best of both worlds. It would be that a lot less compromises would have to be made to have a Tron, a 1/6 scale Tron, because you could have it look exactly like it's supposed to, keep all the proportions correct. And if you wanted to play it, you got Glenn's awesome quality products, and that is how you would actually play it. But not everybody wants to play these. I plug them in. I probably play them once when I first buy it, and then that's it. It sits over here in my little, my little recreation, my little diorama, my little Barbiecade. And everybody likes to give me a hard time about, and that's fine. I don't care. It is what it is. And Barbie should play games too. I mean, come on. Why should we deny her the opportunity to play some arcade games? But that's just me. That's my personal preference. That's my take. I don't play these things. They're not really comfortable to play, and I'd rather just set them up and have them look cool. I love having that track mode. And that's really all I really need for this. It serves my purpose. But to have an option to make it playable with a very arcade accurate controller makes sense to me. Just maybe not with, as far as the arcade enthusiasts, maybe we're not too jazzed and excited about this, but you can't deny the mainstream appeal of Golden Tee itself. Just generally speaking. And this would be maybe considered that first step. So that's the breakdown of where we're at. Is this going to be right for you? Are you comfortable paying this much money? I I don't know. I don't think so. I mean, I think it's unless you're a big Golden Tee fan, there are some people in the comment section of my videos that have said, "Hey, listen, I'm getting this. I got it. I pre-ordered it. I love it. I can't wait to play it." A lot of people are digging it and saying that that's good, but there's also a lot of people, at least the same amount of people, maybe more, who are disappointed that we didn't get some deeper cut, some niche title, some arcade classic that probably no other company would touch. So here we go. We have Golden Tee again. Both arguments, both points of view are valid, in my opinion. I think that's just sort of the way that I think that all this falls. So let's put that aside. So we covered that. Okay, we're good. Let's talk about something else that happened on Glenn's Retro Show last week. Well, I guess it was the week before, 2 Fridays ago, when they actually had Shiloh on from New Wave Toys, giving away some awesome stuff. We had some prizes given. Winners were receiving gifts. It's awesome. I love to see that stuff. I love that to see these companies reaching out to the community, giving back to the community, and having these contests. All that's really cool. There was a lot of posts that I saw popping up about how they said they announced that they're going to make 3/4 scale cabinets. They're going to take it to Arcade 1-Up is what I've seen. Wow, that's great. I need to catch up on that video. I need to go back and watch that, because maybe there's something I missed, because I was watching about half of it live. And well, maybe I need to go back, because I heard them say something, but I'm like, what did I miss something? Because what I heard wasn't maybe exactly what other people heard. So let's go ahead and take a look at the video. This is just a snippet of that interview of the show, Glenn's Retro Show, about 1.5 minutes. Let's take a listen and tell me what you think. Well, we'll discuss it after. Let's go. Here we go. Check it out.
And again, I mean, we got
in there, Shiloh. So as you know, you said you're going to try new things. You got to evolve. Everyone knows the quality that you bring to the table. Obviously, the machines are high quality, attention to detail. People do want, and you know it. Like P-Dubs, Michael B. All those guys come out. They're wanting either a 3/4 scale or full scale. Will New Wave Toys venture outside of its comfort zone of the 1/6 scale and go bigger? Now, again, I know full size to you is still 1/6 scale to you, but to us it's bigger. So is New Wave Toys even contemplating coming out of the Replicate size and going larger, branching out?
Compete against Arcade 1-Up. Compete against Arcade 1-Up.
Yeah, we are.
Did I say that out loud? I'm sorry.
We are. And yeah.
You heard it here, folks. You just heard it.
Arcade 1-Up,
they need competition.
They need somebody to compete with them, and this is a stepping stone towards that. And that's why we're so happy to work with you, Glenn, and get this brand new trackball in this controller. And this is a step and a bridge towards that. So hopefully we do as good as we think we're going to do with this. And again, I mean, we gotta get new people, and we have to keep growing.
So did you hear what I heard? Because the question was from Glenn: is New Wave Toys considering it? Is New Wave Toys considering jumping into 3/4 scale, competing with Arcade 1-Up? And the answer was yes, they are considering it. But we've kind of heard that before. I know, maybe I think we've heard maybe behind the scenes. I don't know if they've actually said this on a show, on a live stream, but they said they're considering it. They haven't confirmed that they're doing it. And I think there's some misinformation going on out there where people are getting, I don't think it's people being nefarious. I think they're just excited about somebody coming out with something in that 3/4 scale, because if you can come in at that scale, we can add that to all of our other stuff, right? All of our other 3/4 scale Arcade 1-Ups, iArcades, the MVSX. We could add more stuff to that, and to have New Wave Toys do it would be incredible. I think a lot of people are excited about that, but I just don't. I don't see where they confirm that they're doing it, but I do see Snowdubs in the chat confirming that you should absolutely smash the like button. Snowdub, buddy, thank you so much for being here and always doing a hell of a job in the chat. Thank you, man. So I didn't see where they said they were actually going to do it. And also he says that, listen, something like this is a step in that direction. And you can kind of see with, the product itself. You're talking about not just not just the actual recreation 1/6 scale, but here we have a control panel. So it's a step in that direction. I think they're testing the waters. I think they're testing the waters at that price point, that $399. This is kind of a big step for them. Everything has been like, $179, $199, $250 is kind of that's kind of a jump, right? But we've seen that with some of the recent releases. $399, I think, those are the real waters that they're testing. Can New Wave Toys have an asking price of something that high and people buy it? People pay for it. Now, I'm not telling you to go get the Golden Tee bundle so that maybe they'll make a 3/4 scale cabinet. That's not what I'm saying. But I think that is part of their calculus. At the end of the day, they're a business like anybody else. They have to make money. So this is all part of that. They're testing the waters. They have a different model. They haven't gone to retail. Later on that episode, that interview, they did say something about trying to get some retail partners. Demajinai, my brother, how the hell are you doing? Good to see you. Happy Memorial Day, man. Thank you so much for stopping by. Yeah, so I just don't. They didn't really commit to it. They didn't say they were going to do it. They are contemplating it. They're thinking about it. They're considering it. I think a lot of companies are. We're going to talk about a few other companies that are definitely considering it, or may even actually have something in the pipeline. But New Wave Toys is not there yet. And I think the biggest thing for New Wave Toys is going to be if they do something 3/4 scale, they are not going to want to skimp on the quality, and we're not going to want them to. But are we going to be willing to pay the price of a 3/4 scale cabinet done to their high standards? I mean, really, a lot of people will buy a 3/4 scale cabinet and understand it's not a real arcade. Understand that, okay, this isn't even really a big monitor, and the controls, maybe they're not that great, but it scratches that itch for me. And I'll stay. I'm happy with the $499 or $399. This is where I want to stay. You're not going to get a New Wave Toys 3/4 scale for $399 or even $499. I think it might be more than that because of their quality, because of what they're going to want to do, and because of some of the titles they're gonna want to kind of get and go after. It's gonna be weird. So I think they're testing the waters. They're trying it out. They were non-committal for, I think, a reason, because they really haven't committed. So I wouldn't don't hang your hat on 3/4 scale offerings from New Wave Toys anytime soon. They're considering it. If things continue to go in the direction, obviously they're branching out, they're trying new things. They could potentially get there. Only thing I'm afraid of is by the time they get there, will they be a little too late? Now, one other thing that Shiloh did talk about in that interview was the next cab is coming out is from 1983. Okay, so 1983, all the bells start going off. One of those games is Star Wars, an arcade game that released in 1983. Because of Disney, because of that hurdle, I don't think it's going to happen. I would love to see I would absolutely love to see a little 1/6 scale Star Wars. That would be great. Probably not going to happen. So what is it going to be? Well, there's some other stuff out there. There's some really weird, wacky deep cuts that they could probably pick that license up for super cheap, and people would probably dig it. But I think they should go ahead. Now's the time. Go ahead and do something. It's going to be within their wheelhouse, but it's not going to be a standard joystick button masher. This is going to be a driving game, and it's actually the winner of the contest we had, the driving game that Arcade 1UP should build. This is the one that we all voted on. The community came together and said, we want Spy Hunter. I think Spy Hunter is absolutely what they should do. I think while the cabinet shape may not be crazy and unique, it's definitely iconic. It has a very specific design, and it looks really great, and it would be a driving cabinet. And I would absolutely love it. Now, are they going to, allow the compromise, and maybe the trigger buttons will not be functional and you have to plug in the controller to leave the proportions correct? I don't know, but I think that's what I would like to see. I would absolutely love to see a little Spy Hunter cabinet. It came out in 83. It's possible. Is that the one that's going to, happen? Is that the one they're going to make? I don't really know. If you have a different suggestion, let me know in the chat right now. Or if you're watching this on replay, throw in the comment section below. But New Wave Toys taking some chances and stepping out of their comfort zone, maybe just a little bit, going with something a little bit newer, a newer title. That's fine. Is it where we think they should be? And, should we even want to pigeonhole them and keep them in this sort of corner of the home arcade space? I don't think so. I want to see them try new things. I'm not really personally interested in a Golden Tee 1/6 scale. I like the weird off, some of the cabinets that are really iconic, but also kind of deep cuts and different. I like to have those around because it really kind of gives me something different than what I'm going to have in either a 3/4 scale or something I can find full size. If it's older, it's going to be, like a Dragon's Lair. While you could maybe pick that up in a 3/4 scale, but if you go with something like a Cubert, nobody's really redoing that. There's no 3/4 scale, and the full size arcade cabinets are hard to find and they're expensive. So that's scratches the itch for me. I kind of like having something a little bit different in my little miniature arcade over here. But that's just my opinion. What do you think? Because at the end of the day, we're the ones buying this stuff. Okay, yeah, Spy Hunter. They should absolutely do it. I think they should. So moving right along, one thing I wanted to talk about is something else in the rumor mill. It's been talked. I've kind of been dropping some hints here and there about, hey, he might be doing something, and you thought he might be doing something. There's been some videos talking about what's he doing and what's going on, but there's never been really anything concrete about this guy named John D and what he's kind of been up to. Not really dropping any official hints, if that's even a thing. But that changed a few days ago. This week, we saw John D at a licensing convention, the Licensing Expo 2024, and it wasn't just him at the Licensing Expo, which that by itself is a little bit odd because, well, he doesn't work for Arcade One Up anymore. What's this guy doing? Who's he working for? Why would he be worried about licensing? What kind of licensing would he be trying to acquire? Is he working for a completely different company? Is he working for some software company? Is he doing something not even in games anymore? And he's office supplies? Is he trying to acquire Dunder Mifflin products? Who knows what he's trying to do? But one of the keys that could have sort of given us a little bit of a hint as far as what he's doing is the tag that you wear when you go to these conventions, when you go to these expos. And he's stealthily covered up a portion of this of the tag on his neck. And I'm like, what? Come on, man. Come on, John. Now you're just messing with us. And of course, it was intentional. He's dropping some teasers. He's trying to let us know he's out there doing something. And I think he's definitely doing something. I have a little bit of information. I can't share it, but I don't have the whole picture. I don't think anybody really has the whole picture except for John himself and maybe some of his close partners as far as what they're working on, what they're working with. But I thought that this was a golden opportunity for me to do a little bit of digging and try to see if I could figure out what was going on here. And I figured I'd start with maybe the name of the LLC that he's working for. Like, what is this company? Who's he working for? Well, if you go to california.gov and you look around and you look long enough, you can find a list of LLCs in the state. And this one was kind of funny. After some digging, I figured it out. The name of the company is Media One Up LLC. It's actually an out of state because it's if you form companies in Delaware, you get a lot of tax breaks. Delaware is a haven for tax breaks. And then wouldn't you know it, the agent is actually John D himself. So Media One Up. Well, there you go. There's your little there's your morsel, right? That's the information that I think you can probably take and chew on and figure out exactly what's going on here. So Media One Up. So there's a play on One Up. Media, is he just going to be social media? Well, that's not really a product. So what is he doing? I think that he's still bringing something to market. And it looks like he is the owner of the LLC. At least this is the way that I understand this, or at least the agent or the person that maybe filed for this LLC. Media One Up is who John D is working for, or it's his company, and he's putting something together. He's at the Licensing Expo. He's meeting with license holders to grab some licenses to put together with his company, Media One Up, and make something. Now, what is he making? What's he doing? What's he putting together? What would be a spunky, fiery little startup? What would be their project? Well, I mean, it could be a number of things. To get started, it could be something very, very small. Maybe it's not even a product anymore. Maybe it's just something, some kind of license that he's going to acquire and sell to somebody else to begin to get some funds going, to build a war chest that he can then later on do something else with. Maybe he's coming to market with a 1/6 scale. Maybe he's trying to compete with New Wave Toys. What? Maybe that's happening. But I don't know. What I would love to see is something bigger. I would love to see him back in the 3/4 scale, maybe doing something different. But, it would be really nice to see something maybe beyond 3/4 scale. We haven't seen anyone really try to give us a an accurate representation, a recreation. Think about it. A full-size cabinet, but because you don't have a CRT, it's not near as deep. I would love to see some of that depth taken out of it, make it lighter. I would love to see solid side panels, but that may not be possible because you got to flat pack this stuff and ship it to people. If you're going to go the retailer route, if you're not going to do the retailer route, maybe it's a one-off, maybe it's a direct-to-consumer product. Who knows? It could be some kind of bar top. It could be one of the form factors that Arcade One Up came up with that he was really jazzed about and loved. Maybe it could be a partycade, something like that. I don't know. But the fact that One Up is in the name is kind of good. It's kind of fun because I'm selfishly hoping that the name of the product is going to be the One Upper. That's just what that me. It's just so I maybe you hate it, but I love it. I think it would just be the perfect little dig to Arcade One Up to have his thing come out, whatever it is, whatever the product is, and call it and just have it be known as the One Upper would be absolutely awesome. Little thumb in the eye. That would be great. Because, at the end of the day, competition is king, and that's going to make everything better for us having these companies compete. But now we got a little bit more information. Now we can do a little bit more digging. I'm excited to see what John has up his sleeve or sleeves. It could be multiple things. Who knows? But excited to see him out there. I'm excited to see him finally giving us something to chew on, because I think you and I both know this guy is not just going to sit around and wait for somebody else to do the right thing. He's eventually going to jump out there and do something. And so I'm excited. I'm excited to see that he's got an LLC. That means he's got control. Creative control is the most important thing in this business. But that's just my 2 cents. Hey, that was a quick one. Let's move on to Evercade. Something different. Not primarily arcades. This is handheld. This is set-top box console. But they brought back the cartridge, which is something I'm really getting into. Got a nice little stack of cartridges here. I like the idea of physical media. I really love the idea of physical media. I'm still in the process of buying up all the Steelbook Blu-rays I can find of my favorite movies, because I know the physical media is dying. It's gone. Especially Steelbooks are just going to be something hard to find. So Evercade is kind of scratching an itch for me. I've got the little Capcom. I got it in a black case. You can't see it. Let me open it up. I got the Super Pocket, the Hyper Super Mega Ultra Awesome Pocket, the Capcom edition, and this is what I game on, and it's fine, but it's the form factor is a little tight, especially when you got big giant goofy hands like I do. So I was excited to see that they were going to but come up with a new updated version of their handheld, the XPR Nostalgia Edition. So I was excited to see that, because I was probably going to go back and get the plain white one because it had Capcom games preloaded on it, but I was kind of jazzed to see something new and something different, a little bit cheaper price, so I jumped on that. It looks like Evercade is not done. They're not done. They've got other stuff on the way. They posted this roadmap a little while back, talking about this year and what's going to be releasing. And of course, you see all the different games. Tomb Raider was a big deal because that was also the introduction of their GigaCart. It was a cartridge that can hold a lot more memory and support games from that CD-ROM era. And then of course they announced the new hardware with the Evercade EXP-R and the Versus, the VS-R. Different consoles. We talked about that a little bit on the show. Now we have another little sneak peek at the piece of hardware that they're announcing. And this is going to be announced on the 30th. And it's the Evercade Alpha. I'm really excited about this because I'm excited about hardware. I'm excited to see what they're going to come up with, what they're going to do. So the 30th this month, what was that, next Thursday or Friday? What day is that? Let me look at the old, break out the phone here. Yeah, Thursday. So next Thursday, they're going to announce what it is. They're going to show it off. I guess first off, what we should say is it hardware? I think that it is, because we still have these slots available here. If it was just a game, those game announcements come in a different way. They pretty much put it right out there, and you have the cool trailer of all the little gameplay of all the games that are on the carts. This is going to be something different. This is going to be hardware. What will it be? What will the Alpha be? I don't have any inside information. I think it would be great if this was a little bit more of a higher powered version of the handheld and the Versus console. We just had those re-releases. We just had those or the redesigns of the hardware, of the original hardware, and they did the Nintendo Switch Lite thing where they actually made them a little bit cheaper. They took away some of the ports. There's no HDMI port on the EXP, the handheld anymore. That's gone. The included Capcom games are also gone. Cost saving measures, sure, and because of that HDMI not being there, they've reduced some of the stuff on the board in the handheld specifically. So they've reduced some costs over there. Usually, when you have a cheaper version, that sometimes means that maybe you're going to get something more powerful. Maybe that's sort of going to satisfy the current user base, but you're going to have something a little more powerful. The thing about the GigaCart is you're going to have much more room to store much more information. But that doesn't necessarily mean the processor in your hardware can run it, or maybe can go where you want to go. Maybe this is going to be perfect for those CD-ROM level the games from the CD-ROM era. But what if there's something else on the horizon? What if the alpha isn't necessarily referring to one or the first, but like the alpha male, like the big baddie, the one ring to rule them all, right? The better version of the console or the handheld. Now, if you're going to go more powerful, I tend to think that that's probably going to be the Versus console, because that is going to be a little bit cheaper to produce. If you go with a more robust board set, with a better processor and all that, typically there's a pretty good cost increase, ramping up production, probably a new mold for the plastic and all that. And so that would probably be the reason why they would maybe go with the set-top box, the Versus, the thing that plugs into your TV, go that route first. And then if that works out later on, you have the actual version with the screen, the handheld, because there's usually some more cost now. Maybe they want to keep that for later on. But if you look at the calendar, there's 2 slots. There are 2 different slots here for 2 different pieces of hardware coming out in November. So it's possible that we could get the second generation of the EXP and the VS. Maybe the R designation is to really separate these from the next generation of the hardware. And maybe you're going to get, maybe it's just a spec bump to support new games coming down the pipe. Maybe they're going to come out with different cartridges that are shaped differently that will fit into these specific pieces of hardware. So you have to buy different carts to fit in it. That would kind of kill your library that you've already created. So that probably wouldn't be the best way to go. It would probably piss off some customers, I think, because if you buy this brand new piece of hardware, it doesn't really make that probably would make a ton of sense to just cut out all those. So most likely it's going to be backwards compatible and bigger, more expensive. I would like to see a larger screen, a little bit larger screen. I think that they could definitely go up maybe an inch and definitely be in the realm of affordability, not be too crazy. But still, when you have stuff like the Steam Deck out there, I think people are wanting bigger screens. I mean, you got to get at least up to the PS Vita size or even larger, and to really, I think, also justify the cost of this new hardware. So alpha, is it going to be one single piece of hardware, a new piece of hardware to be announced later? Is it going to be alpha and you're going to have the alpha portable and the alpha, which would be the system at home? Is it going to be a Switch type device, which is going to have the portable and the docking station? Are they going to copy the Switch in some way? Who knows? But I'm excited to hear about what this is. There's been a lot of memes online, some mock-ups of some pretty hilarious looking stuff, which would be kind of funny, but I don't think it's really going to happen. I tend to think this is going to be just newer iterations, more powerful iterations of the EXP and the Versus. That's just what I'm thinking. But that's just my 2 cents. Let me know what you think about all this in the chat right now in the comments section below. Is this something that anybody even cares about? Is it weird that they came out with the redesigned, cheaper versions first, got your money for that, and then they're going to come out and then they're going to announce more powerful hardware, that's going to play the same games? It's like, oh, I just do I have time to cancel my pre-order? Well, I guess you technically could, because these come out in July, the Evercade. So if you pre-order the EXPR or the Versus R, you could go ahead and just cancel that. That'd be, they could do that, I guess. But yeah, I tend to think it's going to be just more powerful versions of these consoles because of the roadmap. Hopefully, the way they're trending. If we're already making bigger carts to handle the amount of information for CD-ROM based games, is it possible they could maybe go a little bit beyond the CD-ROM era, because emulation on it is really pretty much locked down and pretty solid? They're going to go the licensed route. They're going to go the official route, and that's fine. But is that what it's going to be? just something a little more powerful to run the existing library games, or maybe get ready for something a little bit bigger, badder, better. PS2 era, DVD-ROM, something really had a ton of information. Is that even going to fit on the new cart? Well, are we talking about a new cartridge? Is it going to be a new accessory for this? An official light gun? I guess that's also possible, but anything's possible. I'm hoping that we're talking about something a little more powerful. But we also can't take the arcade side out of it. What if it's like a bar top, and the Alpha being just sort of the biggest thing that they make? So maybe not more powerful, but it's kind of a bar top configuration to play some of those arcade games. I still think I would rather have the powerful option out there, especially a handheld. I love the handhelds, big portable handhelds, pop it in your cartridge. There's something about that just takes me back and brings me back to the Game Boy days, even all the way up to like the PSP days when you're slapping in your UMDs in the UMD drive and it was spinning up and it was killing your battery. It's weird, but it's just stuff that I think about. So I'm hoping that's what we're talking about. A newer form factor with a more powerful processor and a larger screen on the portable, the EXP2, or just the EXP, and the R designates the cheaper version. Living side by side is what I'm kind of hoping for. That would be really, really cool. I'm building a little bit of a library. I know you are too. I'm excited, one, for the new hardware. Hopefully it's more powerful to run more powerful games and see the gigacarts really take us a leap forward. And we're talking about all 3 Tomb Raider games on the same cartridge. That's really nothing to sneeze at when you consider the small games that we've had on the cartridges so far. But that's kind of what I'm thinking. I'm excited to hear more about it. We're going to hear more about it this Thursday. So keep your eyes peeled to Facebook and see what they have to say. I'm excited to see, maybe what it's going to be, and maybe even spend a little bit more money with Evercade. I'm starting to become a little bit of a fanboy. Let's see if they derail this train, because I think they got a good thing going. That's another thing they could absolutely do. Come out with something that's a letdown or a disappointment, or seems like a big money grab, and that would be disappointing. I think one thing that also would be disappointing if it's just a different version of the EXP and the Versus, and it's just like a different reskin, like an atomic version. But to call it the Alpha really makes me think it's going to be something completely different. Anyway, that's just my 2 cents. I think it's exciting to see these companies reinvesting in hardware. Hardware is definitely something. It's a big sign of, I think, bigger things to come, even for these small games. Okay, moving right along. We had buy stuff in the chat earlier. We're talking about buy stuff now. They love it when you buy stuff, and I like it when they make stuff worth buying. So let's check this out real quick. Not much to talk about here, because honestly, they're teasing us. They're absolutely teasing us. It's a teaser, and it's a good teaser, and it could be the most appropriately timed teaser, at least in the home arcade space for sure. But in marketing, it's pretty damn genius to read the room and really pick up on what the sentiment is in the home arcade space, and that is the lack of hardware. We just talked about Evercade coming out with new hardware, releasing already 2 new pieces of hardware, coming out with 2 more, and that they're just a small company playing cartridges that they have. This is something completely different. This is something on a completely different scale. So the first teaser was earlier this week, talking about home arcades in 2024 have been dull. Should we turn that upside down? Well, I think you should. I think you should absolutely turn that upside down. Not an actual picture of the product, but still a very good teaser picture. And then the 24th, what's today? I don't even know what the hell the day is. Today is the 26th. So a couple days ago, they posted this, said, "It's alive and it's spectacular." Of course, come on. You're not even they made this one even made it worse. They took away the fake product underneath, and they just have the towel on the ground. It's an anti-fatigue mat. So nothing else really to tease us, but other than just to say, hey, we're working on something. Now, there's something kind of interesting in this second teaser. Very much a teaser. A big day over here. Many months of work and continue. And I'm sorry, I can't even see the thing. But basically, been working on this for a long time. It is the most ambitious project that they've ever undertaken, which is actually saying something when you consider what they've done, the mods that they have brought to the arcade 1-ups, the full builds that they have made. They've done some pretty big stuff, and that's different. That's the difference between Buy Stuff and some of these other companies. They've taken on these full-scale projects in various shapes or forms. They've actually done it, built it, shipped it, people dig it. They've done it at this scale. These other companies are talking about stepping into the ring, the larger stuff. They've been doing it for a while. But the thing that I took away, the little grouping, the little phrase that really kind of got me excited was when they talked about the original plan was to reveal our new product line when we hit 10,000 Facebook subs. But they're not going to hold to that. They want to make, if that's going to, that may happen before they're really ready to reveal it. So just reveal it when the time is right. I think that's what you should do. You reveal it when the time is right. Don't set some arbitrary goal if that could conflict with showing us the best version of the product you got. But we're not talking about a thing, though. We're talking about a new product line. Now that kind of gets you thinking, right? A new product line, something different. Was this just another kit, another mod kit? That would be fine. I don't think anybody would be mad about that. The mod kits are pretty good. Be able to go to Buy Stuff and get that 19-inch monitor and drop it in your existing arcade without really any major modifications whatsoever. You just take out your monitor and your monitor board and you just swap this out with it. It's pretty awesome. A lot of people for years now have been kind of fighting with cumbersome, brackets and kits to get like a 20-inch monitor in their arcade one-up, and then finding those monitors is getting really tough. This is a full-blown package. That was just one little thing that they did. I actually want to go ahead and do that in my T2 cabinet, but it gets you thinking about it. And I think it was Game Broker. Somebody said it, and you hit the nail right on the head. That's exactly where I'm going with this. I'm thinking of a product line where it is an empty shell. Now, what I mean by an empty shell is a cabinet that is roughly the deluxe size. So it's not on risers, but I guess it could be on risers. There's still a lot of people that are big fans of risers. And then have a monitor, no controls, and then this is sort of the base package. This is a shell. This is where you begin your journey, your build, and it's $299. So 17-inch monitor, full flat packed, just black melamine, just a black control panel, or no control panel, nothing, right? It's just a cabinet itself. Or maybe you have a control panel and it's just the generic 6-button layout, But I think that's one of the biggest barriers of entry to this hobby is having that shell, having that starting point. That's what was so exciting to so many people when Arcade One-Up did what they did. A lot of people don't have the woodworking skills or tools it takes to really build a cabinet from scratch. That's tough. That's intimidating to a lot of people. Arcade One-Up kind of brought that to the masses with these kits that you buy and just bolt together. But they weren't generic. They were branded to a specific game. So right off the bat, what do you got to do? Well, you got to reskin the thing. Once you get your mods done, you got to reskin it to whatever game you're looking at. What if there was a shell? What if there was a kit that you could start with? It was definitely a build, a ground up build, and you start with a bare bones frame, which is just a black cabinet with a 17-inch monitor, or you could upgrade to the 19-inch monitor for a little bit more, or whatever. But if you come in at that $299 price point for a shell, a lot of people, if you're going with Buy Stuff, you're used to modding and hacking and changing stuff around and getting in there, getting your hands dirty and making something. Maybe you got a Pandora's box, or you have a PC, a Raspberry Pi, and you got separate builds and you want to build your own multicade, but you just need that base, that starting point. And you don't want to have to find an Arcade One-Up and then buy a whole bunch of decals to cover up the original branding, and maybe the T-molding color isn't right. If you could go to them and buy a 3/4 scale product that was a shell that you could customize, you could pick the T-molding, you could pick the control panel layout, you could pick the monitor. And if you look at the structure of their website, that's kind of the way it's set up already. If you go there and you want to buy something, you start picking out the different options. And it's actually really cool. You get something customized to you. Now, they're going to be able to hit that price point that everybody's going to want. That's going to probably be the key with shipping and everything. That could be a big ask. That could be a big hill to climb. But I think it's absolutely something that the arcade community is wanting. And it's one of the big selling points of Arcade One-Up. Think about what I just did with my last few projects. I started with a deluxe, and I started with the Capcom Deluxe because it has the fewest amount of decals that I had to cover up. And I did two custom builds with their deluxe cabinets, their Street Fighter 2 deluxe cabinets, because they were just mostly black. And I knew that the side art was going to be cheaper because I just had to get two smaller pieces. And then as long as it was a 6-button fighter or whatever, it was going to fit and it was going to be fine. But man, wouldn't it be nice to just start with a blank slate and build whatever you want? You know, not having to, well, let's see, I got to go buy this cabinet, see if I can find it used. It's going to be expensive, you know, to buy it brand new is like $500, $600. And then that I'm starting with a $500 or $600 shell. You know, I'm going to try to maybe sell the PCB out of it and recoup some of it. The barrier of entry is still really tall, really big. If you could start with $299, here's your shell, just a black cabinet, and away you go. That is where I want to be. That's where I think that they should be. That would be something really, really exciting and would kind of sort of push Arcade1Up out of the way. If you want to just build your own, if you want to make something specific, if you know Arcade1Up isn't going to build it or they haven't built it, why go with Arcade1Up or some, you know, well, that's really it. Arcade1Up. Go with Arcade1Up and then try to change it, modify it drastically, and maybe you don't get exactly what you want. Maybe you don't get exactly the look you're after because of, once again, those compromises you had to make. Maybe start with a solid black shell from Buy Stuff and then load it up with all the other stuff they already offer. And maybe, I mean, you could potentially go from nothing and build exactly what you want on their website. And there you go. Now, is it going to be an officially licensed product? I don't know. I don't think so. That's not really what they do. They're not really into releasing. Now, it's not to say that they couldn't, and they absolutely could, but I think there's, if this is the way they go with the empty shell idea, I think it's really something that that Arcade1Up kind of cornered the market on in the beginning, but now that ship has sailed, and we're beyond that now. Also, the price has gotten so high that people don't want to have to spend all that money just to get a project cab. So Buy Stuff Arcades is exciting. Yes, we want you to go ahead and turn the home arcade community upside down. We don't want it to be dull anymore. I'm excited that it's not just a new thing, but it's a product line. So this suggests a lot of investment on their part. And if it's a ton of investment, you know they're really banking on it being exactly what the home arcade community needs. And I think that the empty shell, the starting point for you to build your perfect 3/4 recreation, is just that shell. And that's foundational to the hobby. It's foundational to your project. And it's absolutely something that we're craving. So Buy Stuff. What are you waiting for? Come on, man. Flip it on its head and let us know what the hell you're working on. Okay, one more thing. We got to talk about some stuff from Unico. That's right. You know the show. You know, Arcade1Up bad, Unico good. That's what the show. No, sometimes Arcade1Up does some good stuff. You know, we'll talk about that maybe on another show. But let's talk about New Wave Toys, some of the updates. I wanted to discuss some of this briefly and kind of get you up to speed on what they're working on. Because remember, they told us when they missed their first ship date that the reason they were doing it is because they were working on stuff. They were trying to make it better. So we've got some pictures, some images I wanted to talk about just a little bit. So this is their new JAMA board. Remember, these boards are completely custom for the Nova Blast. So this is making a hell of a lot of progress. You can see there's some of the kick harness connectors. This has actually come a long way from the prototypes and even the board that I saw. So this is looking really good. That's the picture. It is what it is. It is progress, though, being made. Let's talk about something else. This gets a little bit good. I like this. Let's talk about how does this all begin to come in? How does this all take shape? So the picture on the left is going to be a kick harness. It's going to work with your CPS2, CPS1, and then a couple other boards. I think they're working on that as far as how many kick harness you're going to be able to get, how many adapters you're going to have to buy. That's not really fleshed out yet, but I think this one is going to be included. And so your CPS1 and 2 stuff is going to be out of the box, ready to go. And you're going to have this to connect to their custom board. So they need to continue to flesh out the kick harness setup because of just the different boards out there. More testing is absolutely going to be required. You can see this little kick harness installed on this CPS2 board here and then plugging into their JAMA board. The cable that they're using, this is a little bit different than the prototype that I saw. You see these big black connectors plugging into these modules that actually plug into they're actually the JAMA connector itself is this piece that's sandwiched between two pieces of Lexan. It's not the cable itself inside. It's actually a connector now. that could offer a lot of flexibility because you can get a longer cable, a shorter cable. You can relocate your PCB somewhere else if you wanted to. But I'm glad that. But I tell you, I like this. It does kind of tidy things up a little bit. But the fact that we still got a little bit of bulk on that JAMA connector, that was a problem plugging into the CPS2 board that we had. So hopefully they're working on that too to kind of make that a little bit seamless. But it's going to be something that you may have to kind of slightly modify the casing on some of these old PCBs. It's just something you're going to have to be aware of before you go in. It wasn't the end of the world for us when we were playing that CPS2, that board. It was just something we had to disassemble. We had to unsandwich. We had to take the Lexan pieces off and then plug it in direct. So hopefully they're refining that. But that's definitely a change for sure right there. So that's a modification. I think it's probably worth it. Here is another one. This is important. This is a brand new. You see it's kind of off to the left here. It's got the black cable in front of it. You see the white cable connected to it on the bottom. You see that LVDS cable connected on the top. This is the new board for all of the 26-inch monitors moving forward. It's got the potentiometers mounted on it. And this is the important thing. I talked to them today. They are still on schedule. They had these things shipped from their warehouses overseas in June to be stateside in July. So we're still there. We're still looking good on that. So that's exciting because it's really important to make sure we hit those secondary dates because we kind of missed the first one. Even though I think it was justified, I'd rather wait for a better product. We got to make sure we hit those dates. And it looks like from everything that I'm hearing, from everything I'm being told, we are still on track to hit that. And that's exciting. That's exciting. That's what I want. So this is the latest and greatest from them. They did show off some more footage of that actual kick harness in action. I posted that short video. It is on my YouTube channel. Check that out. Man, what am I gonna do, Fox? You gonna read the comments or keep rambling? I'm gonna keep rambling because that's what I do because I got a lot to catch up on. It's a lot going on, buddy. I apologize, but it's a lot to keep up with, a lot to talk about because I missed so much time. I'm trying to get it all together. Will a super chat shut him up? Why would you watch the show and have me not talk? Nobody wants dead air. That hurts me. But you know what would, maybe fix me would be a super chat. I wouldn't turn it down. Fishing for super chat. Somebody feed this animal. No, I'm not fishing for a super chat, but I am fishing for a like button to be smashed. Once again, great advice. Smash the like button, peeps. Okay, so that's kind of where we're at as far as Unico goes. I'm really anxious to get my hands on one other important piece, and it is that board. I want to see if I can just connect that up to my panel, my original 26-inch monitor, and see if that's going to fix my problem with my Midway cabinet, with my Cruise and World cabinet, because that was a bit of a bummer to have that installed in that cabinet and have it just not work. I mean, it looks good, except for the fact that you got, some lines cropped on the bottom. I didn't like that. That was not good. It's a little bit frustrating. So Fox, breathe. Okay, we'll take a second. And I'll breathe. That's good. That's good. Next hour, we should just talk X-Men 97. I will talk about X-Men 97 briefly real quick. So I did a video. Go check out my video. I like the show overall, 8 out of 10. Did I, in fact, buy the X-Men 97 cabinet from Arcade 1-Up? Now, that's the question. That's the burning question. And you're going to have to watch that video, to check it out, right? I mean, you got to watch the video, check it out. But the show was actually way, way, way better than I thought it was going to be. I was super pleasantly surprised. It's not perfect, but it's a pretty damn good show for sure. Would you look at that?
What the hell?
Yo, the sign is real simple, B. It says wrap it up.
Thank you so much for sitting here for my marathon rambling. I know I talked a lot tonight, but I had a lot to get through, guys, a lot to discuss. Hopefully you got some comments. I think you will. I think you have some comments. As the chat's blowing up, so that's good. Absolutely good. If you're watching this on replay, please comment. Let me know what you think about all this. I do think, guys, that this is the calm before the storm. The first half of 2024 has been so dead, and there's been so many shakeups, and there's been so many teases and half announcements going on out there. I think we're sitting. We have a situation where Arcade 1-Up has helped And this community existed before, but Arcade 1-Up has really kind of helped, build this community out. It's broadened the appeal, and now we're all pretty thirsty. We're salivating. We want something else. We want something new. This is prime. We're all primed. This is like the chum is in the water. This will be a feeding frenzy if somebody can bring something out to us that is good, and that actually is the result of actually listening to the community. Speaking of listening to the community, let's go to that poll question tonight. Every week we have the poll question. The poll question was simply this: 135 votes. I know it's the holiday weekend. I thank all of you so much for taking the time to come by, watch the show, and actually vote. 135 votes is not bad. Let's go ahead and end the poll right now. And the question was simply this: do you think we'll see any new 3/4 scale home arcade products in 2024? In the poll right now, and you're not going to believe it. 50-50 split. This drives my point home. We're pessimistic. We're optimistic. It's killing us. I think we want to see it. We want to see something new. We want to buy something new. We want to continue to build out our little arcades. Somebody's got to bring it. Somebody's got to bring something for real. Somebody's got to bring something that excites us. And you've had years at this point of the community talking out, speaking up, putting our voices have been heard. We have reached out. We've answered survey and poll question after poll question, especially on this show. And it's time to take all that information we've been giving you for free, that market research, and make something that people are absolutely dying for, that they need, that they crave, just like I crave a super chat. This was for $10 from my brother Ezekiel, the Chicago Retro Ranger. Thank you so much for your $10 super chat, buddy. I always appreciate it. The Big Blue Champion. Got more Big Blue cabinets than anybody I know. What's up, my brother? Hope you're having a great weekend. P.S. Check your phone. Cheers. I will absolutely check my phone. And what has he done? As soon as I say it, just, did you go to Florida? Oh, did you? Oh, no, this is definitely have to end the show. I got something to take care of real quick. $10 and the Intel dump on something I've been looking for. You are absolutely the man. Thank you so much for your $10 super chat, buddy. Where is the little special something I got to give to you? Here you go.
Can't you do any better?
OnlyFans time. That's right. It's coming up, guys. The the after show starts in just a few minutes. Members only after show. If you're a member, don't worry. Just hang out right here. You're going to be automatically redirected to that show. I promise to talk a little bit slower, talk a lot more to you, answer your questions, because I really do appreciate the support, guys. I know that this month has been light on shows and content and all that, and I legit apologize, because I know everybody, not just my members, but everybody, you deserve more. And I'm going to make sure that I try to put my best foot forward for the remainder of the year and really try to give you some good stuff. I've got some pretty cool projects coming up. I've got some pretty big arcade purchases coming up that I'm really excited about. That's why you haven't seen that much stuff coming through the arcade, because I've had to make room for something, especially one thing, some really big thing going right over here. Everybody, and please be safe this holiday weekend. Enjoy it. It is Memorial Day. Take some time to remember those who pay the ultimate price for our freedom. And thanks again for being here. I'll see all of you right back here next week. We are having a show. I promise we're having a show next week. Next Sunday, we're going to have a show. So everybody, be safe. Thanks so much for being here. And I will see all of you next time. Peace.